Hump Day! Hey everybody, welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I am your host, Chuck Fulkerson, here on the absolute last day of February, Wednesday, February the 28th. Hope everybody had a great trading day yesterday. We're going to do what we do each and every day here on the Daily Market Commentary. We're going to take a look at the same 10 to 12 futures markets. And the key is, for all of you that remember, we leave the lines on the charts. We leave the lines on the charts because it helps to hold us accountable to our levels and our trades, and it allows you to be a little bit more educated on how these lines and levels progress over time. Now, remember, the key in all of this is that we are looking for high probability potential entry points from a technical perspective. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. As February comes to a close today, we see that the futures markets, the S&P, were down about half a point early in early morning trading. Recording this at about looks like 6:37 Central, so 7:30 Eastern. And we fell down pretty hard yesterday. Towards the afternoon, have kind of chopped around in the overnight hours, but been unable to put in a new swing high. So I think there's a chance we could continue to fall a little bit more. Was speaking to a friend of mine yesterday about that. This is the area that we outlined yesterday as a potential reversal point, and I think that this still holds very true. I'm going to leave these areas in play. If you want to go a bit smaller on your time periods, I would actually be okay if you decided today, if we do start to get a little bit of bullish momentum and we break above 27.55, taking a short-term long. If we do happen to get some momentum and we break above here, I'd be okay if you said, you know what, I'm gonna try this on a little bit of a long. Not a bad play there. And as I say that, I'm thinking it might even be better. Let me remove this drawing. As I say that, I think it might even be better to do that on a Nasdaq position. So let me actually pull up the Nasdaq position that will correspond, because the Nasdaq has had relative strength. So same concept. I think that you still have that same opportunity if we get a breakout long above this area here. Once again, I'm looking on the smaller time period as kind of that breakout long, and what we're doing is trying to get a buy area over this 69.35 kind of region. Still have the same reversal period in the Nasdaq that we do in the S&P for today. So those are two areas to look at in our major markets. Looking at crude oil. So crude oil yesterday, we came screaming down. Thought I might get a little reversal off of this area. Remember, this was on the 15-minute chart. And we did get a little bit of a bounce. Unfortunately, we blew through our area before getting the bounce. So you probably got stopped out on that one if indeed you got long on that. That one had everything that we needed. It had a good, strong arrival. It had everything that said we should get a bounce, and we didn't. And guess what? Sometimes that happens. Welcome to trading. We're going to take small losses in that instance. The idea being is that over time, those small losses and small wins will just kind of wash each other out. But we let the big winners continue to run. So what am I looking for today in crude? Well, we are still in that upward trend on the 4-hour time period. I still have that same upward price momentum. Matter of fact, we're sitting right on an upward trend line. So I'm not going to change my overall big picture bias as a long. There's no reason to do so at this point, even though one of our longs got stopped out. I am, however, going to be a little bit more cautious about when I get back in. So I'm going to hold off for now. Could be a decent breakout opportunity if you want to get long on a breakout, maybe above one of these areas. All right, in here. If you want to get long a breakout above this 63.34, that could just be a way to play the bounce off of the trend line without taking undue risk by trying to pick that bottom and where it's going to reverse. So let's go ahead and take a look next at gold. And gold, we had identified, yesterday I talked about a potential for a pretty strong breakdown if we got below this area here. Did not put the line on. Probably should have. Hindsight is always 20/20. But that did give us now a potential reversal breakdown area out of here. Now, on a smaller time scale, there's going to be a potential reversal area right in here. So if somebody's willing to take the risk, you may get a reversal right in this area right there off the 15-minute level. Remember, slightly lower probabilities on those smaller time frame levels. Let's go ahead and take a look now at our bonds. So in bonds, we set up the breakout to the downside, and the breakdown short did indeed occur. So obviously this one has now started to show a little bit of strength coming back in. So you may or may not have already taken profits on this move, as this one did the breakdown below this line. If you are moving these stops above pivots, you're probably stopped out for a small profit right now. If you kept your stop on the breakout short, you should have, your stop should be up above this area here. So it really depends on your profit taking, whether or not you took the profits on that small move yet or not. Could be an opportunity just to pull it to break even. So that one is still running, still profitable, and moving along. Aussie dollar, the Aussie, we didn't have any new levels established in the Aussie. As I said, we were kind of waiting for what happened with our Fed conversation, and that's the same as well for the euro, although we're getting close to our euro level. Be aware of our arrival into this level before we get there. Canadian dollar. So the Canadian dollar, we're getting a little bit of a potential breakdown pattern, right? This is the pattern that we want for a breakout to the downside. So if you wanted to short it on a breakdown, you could short it below yesterday's low if we break down below this area here. And what's another thing to remember is that if you short it right here, your stop has to go above this pivot right up here. So it's a fairly wide stop. So judge your risk accordingly. Looking at the Great British Pound and the Japanese Yen, we still have our areas in play on both of these. Great British Pound has really taken a little bit of a tumble in the overnight session. Didn't have a breakout short in place on this one, although I think that there is still going to be an opportunity somewhere a little higher up through here. But for now, we're going to leave the areas in that we have in place. No sense in adding a whole bunch of new areas. Japanese yen trade. So the Japanese yen area, this one gave us a little touch and go, and then blew right through the level. Was unable to hold on to the initial gains that the trade had, and so this one didn't work out so well. So all in all, it was one of those days yesterday where we had a couple of small losing positions. We've got some winners that are still running, but they're not gigantic, and we've set up for a couple of more opportunities. Now, all in all, could yesterday have just been a pause on a much bigger, upward move and a chance to get in and buy more? I think that's what a lot of professionals are thinking. I will tell you that's kind of my prevailing opinion and thought right now. I think that we still are going to continue to march higher overall in the S&P and in the Nasdaq. I mean, the Nasdaq we're now only less than 1% off of we're a little over 1% off of those highs. So we will see if that move does indeed continue. So if you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email, chuck@iiefinancial.com. Thank you so much for your time today, and I hope everybody has a safe and great trading day. Talk to you soon. See you.